Hey everybody, I'm Justin with PumpPal here, and if you're looking for a workout tracker app for beginners, you found the right video here. I'm Justin, the creator of PumpPal, and I believe PumpPal is one of the best apps for beginners to begin using because of many features that allows you to track your progress over time. If you want to check out PumpPal, just go to your app store, search for PumpPal Physical Activity Logs, and you can go ahead and download it, install it, and follow along with this video as I explain the features, and you kind of learn as we go. Otherwise, you can just watch the video and see these features and decide if you want to check out the app. Um, what we offer, one of the biggest benefits of PumpPal is our plan builder. It's great for beginners um, to start a plan real quick. Even if you don't have access to a gym, we'll get you a plan set up so you can begin working out. You can build a custom plan if you like. There's groups. You also have progress photos that are built into PumpPal that allows you to track your progress photos over time and compare them from your oldest to your newest. We offer body measurements so you can measure your body measurements throughout time and compare them with your newest measurements. We have your reasons to keep motivated and things like that. But I'm about to go into more detail about what the app has to offer here. And I think what we'll do is we'll start out with plans, and you can check out how the plans work, and then we'll work through the progress photos and everything else. So let's jump into plans. Okay, so let's talk about plans. So what is plans? This is going to be like the main place you're probably going to be at most of the time when you use the app. This is where you actually make the plans for your workouts, and you actually go into your workouts and adding exercises to your plans and things like that. The way this is built, we have it set up to where it's the plans list is for the week. So you're planning out your whole week of what you're going to do for your exercises, and then you would repeat that week after week after week, right? As you can see here, I have three plans. They're like at home full body workouts. I have four exercises in the first two, and then one at home, one exercise for the third one here. If you wanted to make a plan and you know kind of what you're doing and you want to make a plan, you can add a custom plan by hitting the plus button in the top right. And it'll ask you to set up the plan's name and what day of the week you're going to do the plan, like so. So you give it a name, maybe you're doing like leg day, you might want to do leg day, chest day, whatever it is, choose which day of the week you want it, and then you hit add plan and it'll add it to your list. If you're someone that doesn't know quite right, at the moment of how to set these exercises up, you can use your free plan builder on the bottom there. That build a new plan button. If you select that, it'll guide you through setting up a plan based off of the answers you give it. It'll ask you a series of questions. Just kind of go through the list and answer the questions. And then it'll eventually get to the point to where it generates up to three plans for you, like this, and you can kind of choose what you want. You can see like this is like a setup for someone that's doing an at-home workout. They want to hit their whole full body, and it's giving you 3 days a week. And you can simply select the plan that you want to do, right? And then you hit use this plan, and it will add that to the list of plans. That's a super cool feature that's normally a paid feature in most apps, but in this app you get it for free. So do take advantage of that while it's still free and check it out. But yeah, so if we want to go ahead, let's say we created a plan and we wanted to add exercises to the plan. All you would do is you just hit select, whatever plan it is for that week, and you would then go into a screen where you can add exercises. Let me find it here quick. So this is the current list of exercises within your plan. If you want to add another exercise to it, you can add exercises to the custom plans that are built to the plan builder. You can remove exercises from them too. So don't think you can't modify it once you add a plan. You can do so whenever you'd like. So this one we can hit add exercise, and then it'll show you a screen like so. And you can add an exercise. So in this example, it's bodyweight squats. It could be regular squats. It could be whatever exercise you like. When you hit you start typing in that section, it'll show you a list of pre-filled in exercises also that you can go ahead and select. What the alternate is, let's say you're setting up your exercises, and this allows you to swap within the workout. You can swap in and out of an alternate exercise. This is handy if you'd like to do variations. Sometimes, maybe every once in a while, you want to do dumbbell flies instead of the bench press. You can use swap for that. The main reason that I would have an alternate exercise is that if I'm at the gym and let's say I'm doing squats and all the squat racks are being used up, I don't want to wait around 15 minutes for the squats to be um, to free up, right? A squat rack to free up. I can use my alternate to do something else. Maybe I'll just do dumbbell squats, high volume, or uh, maybe what do you call them again? The leg press. You can do that. Whatever my alternate's going to be, I'll have that alternate in there, and you'll see later on when we go into what it looks like when the workout's happening, where you can swap it out between the two. And what's nice about that is it's going to remember whatever you did on that swap, so you can still kind of see progress as you're moving forward. So definitely check that one out there. Add that in, and then you simply hit add your sets and how many sets you want. Like most people do 3, but you can add as many sets as you'd like for the exercise. Just so you know, by default, it's going to give you on the alternate exercise list. If you put in 3 sets for the bodyweight squat, it will then automatically add 3 sets in for your alternate exercise too. And then when you go to swap it for the first time, it'll just have 0 for the weight. And then you just add whatever weight you're doing for the alternate. But yeah, then just below there, you don't really see it in the image, is where you have a save exercise or edit exercise, depending on what you're doing. And then that's where you'll get added to your exercise list. Like so. So if you wanted to get into the exercise, right, you just hit start workout, and then you'll be brought into that exercise, right? Or that to begin your exercise. And you'll look something like this. Okay, and then here is what it looks like within the exercise. You have your, what exercise you have to do first. It goes in order of what that list is. You can drag and drop them and change order if you want to, but it goes in that order. And then you can then see here, you can add in the weight you did, how many reps. It has the little rest timer. It looks like you're resting for 60 seconds. If you did 225 12 times, your 1 rep max will be around, looks like 324. But yeah, and then you'd hit save, and then the rest timer will show up. It'll play a sound, and then you can go into your next set, right? As you can see in this image, you have that swap button in the top right. That's where that alternate exercise comes into play. Let's say you want to alternate between bodyweight squats to lunges. You can have a swap option there. Let's say like in this exercise you would have like weighted squats or barbell squats, right? You can then swap to bodyweight squats. Maybe one day you want to do lighter weight, but it's your way of alternating between whatever you chose to have as your alternate exercise for that. And simply you keep going through this list, and then if you complete the sets, as you complete the sets, it'll go into the next exercise. So maybe it's push-ups next, or whatever it is that's in your list. And then eventually you'll get done with your exercise, and they'll give you a workout summary and give you all kinds of information about your workout. That's how the plans work within PumpPal. So your plans are your days, pretty much your days of the week. Inside your plan, you have exercises, and then you can add more exercise, add those exercises. Those exercises have an alternate exercise, and you start your workouts from the plans. So as you notice here on the top, we have those 2 tabs. We have the plans list, and then we have the groups list. What is the groups, right? The groups are a way to keep your list organized. Let's say like you found one workout you liked, you did that for 6 months, and you want to try something new. Normally you didn't want to get rid of, and you don't want to get rid of those, right? Maybe you'd had to write that down in a notebook and then you delete them from here. Or maybe you just added the new thing you're going to do, and now you're starting to get this huge list of items. Well, instead of going with all that big list, you can go with groups, right? If you look on the top right, we have that groups folder on the plans list. If you select that, that'll actually allow you to group whatever's in your plans list and put it into a group for later use. So if you go inside here and you click that button, you'll be prompted with this. Here. Oops, sorry, wrong window. You'll be prompted with... I think I have it in a different folder here. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. You'll be prompted to ask you. I remember when I was building this, I was like, do I want to assume they want them out of the list? I'm not going to assume they want to remove that from the plan list. So I gave you an option here. You can go ahead and decide if you want to keep the plans you currently have in your plans in the plans list. So maybe you just want to group them, but you're still going to do the exercises, right? You can just say keep them in your list, and then you can then add a group for those items. You remove your plan, or you can remove the plans from the list. Let's say you know you're done with these plans for the week. You can then remove them from the list and group them as you might want to use that group of exercises later on, maybe 4 or 5 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. You can group those together for later use. And then once you do that, you're going to be into the group screen where you have your groups, right? And then if you want to make a custom group without any plans, you can hit that plus button. It'll go through and ask for a name, description of the group, and then you can even make custom plans within those groups that you've never done before if you wanted to. But I believe most people are just going to have their plan set up. You're going to hit that group button. You can save them for later. But let's say like 6 months down the road, you save this at-home workouts in a group, and you want to go back to that exercise group, right? You can delete the plans in your plans list, or you can regroup those up and remove them from the list. However you want to do it, you can do. Then you just add this group to your plans list. If you select it, you'll be presented with this screen here, and it'll have these exercises. So remembered your plans that you put in that group, and then you just hit the button, add group plans to plans list, and then it'll send those over to your plans list where you can begin using your plans again. Here. So groups is just a handy way to keep organized, pretty much. Let's say you found a cool leg exercise you really like, you want to grow your legs. You found a cool plan online, or maybe you used a plan builder, it worked really well for you, and you want to save that for later, right? And you don't want to get rid of them because it was a good plan, and it did what it's trying to do. Maybe you wanted to grow your legs, maybe you wanted your legs stronger, maybe you want your chest stronger. It did its purpose, and then you can mark it down as, chest progression, description, a program that worked well to grow my chest. And then you can group those together and later on come back and use them. But yeah, that about covers the plan screen, and I hope you enjoyed it, and check it out. Alright, let's check out progress photos in PumpPal. So what is progress photos? Why would you want to take them? And all that good stuff. So progress photos is the way for you to visually see changes in your body, right? A lot of people get hung up on that scale weight, and sometimes it doesn't move, so you start to lose motivation. Whereas progress photos allow you to see visual changes that the scale might not register. So sometimes you might go a week and you're still at 225. You don't know why you're still at 225. And then when you do the progress photos, you might see visual changes that keep you motivated to know stuff is happening and it's working, right? If you're not sure how to take proper progress photos, on the top there, they have a button, tips, tools, or recommendations. It gives you the complete rundown on how to take good progress photos, what tools to take, what time of day you should do these at, how often you should do these. So check that out if you're not quite sure exactly how to do it right. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of give you a rundown of what you can do. To start with, in progress photos, it'll always remember your front and side and back shots, so you can compare your future shots to those. If you want to add a new progress photo, on the top right, you click the plus button, and you're going to be presented with these options here. You can either take the photo right now, they'll essentially bring up the camera on your phone. You can take a photo, and then you can use that. If you've already taken some progress photos previously, maybe have it saved in your phone, you might want to choose from your library, and then you can go in your library and add those photos into PumpPal so you can use this feature, right? Make your choice there. Chances are you're going to probably take a photo on those. And then once you get your photo taken, you'll have it be like this screen. And then you have the date you take it on. If you upload it, just be aware you can change the date on it. So if you bring in an older folder, you can put the date you took it on that date. Otherwise, you can select your pose. It's either a front shot, side shot, or back shot. You can select it as one of your favorites. Let's say you took it, nice picture, you want to use it for later, you can add it to your favorites. You can select a private, and essentially what the private does is it only saves the photo and your information to your phone, and it never leaves your phone off to a server or something like that if you want to keep it private. Also below that, there's going to be a note section. Maybe in that picture right away you notice the change, like darn, my love handles went down, or maybe your man boobs or whatever had changed, and you want to make a note of that, right? You can make some notes, and then you simply save the picture, and then it'll add it to the list of progress photos. So then eventually you want to keep taking, front, side, and back shots. Time goes on, and you can want to see this visually. You can actually compare these photos On the top right, you can hit the compare button. It will then present to you comparison shots. And we have the front on the top here. You can choose between the front, side, and back. And you can quickly see the oldest versus the newest and look at visual changes in your body over time. This is what it looks like for the front. And if you want to select the side, you have your side shots. And if you want to select your back, you can select your back shots. Very cool feature in PumpPal. You can visually see progress over time. Once again, it helps you not get discouraged because sometimes your weight's not going to go in the direction either up or down you want it to go. Sometimes there's some body recomposition going on, and you can visually see those changes, and then maybe you got all depressed when you got on the scale, but then you took a look at your progress photos, you compared them, and you're like, oh, dang, it looks way better compared to my first shot, though. And that keeps you going, keeps you motivated to want to get more. The idea behind it is you want to get hooked on looking good, more than you get hooked on ice cream. That's the idea behind it, right? So you want to keep these progress photos, you want to keep going, and see visual progress. Check it out in PumpPal. Progress photos. Okay, so let's check out body measurements. So what is body measurements? It's a way to keep track, much like progress photos, of your progress over time without the scale being involved. Although we do take the scale's measurements, there's many more things we keep track of besides just the overall weight. Once again, if you ever have an issue where you got a couple weeks, maybe you're trying to gain weight and maybe you're stuck at like 200 pounds, didn't gain any weight for a couple weeks, or maybe you want to go down and you've been stuck at 200 pounds for a couple weeks, and maybe even in progress photos, you might not have seen your progress, right? Visually, you can't see it. Whereas measurements is a bit more precise, so maybe you won't see in the progress photos a 1/10 of an inch change, as opposed to in a measurement, you will. So if you don't know how to take proper body measurements, on the top we have tips, tools, and recommendations. Inside there, it'll give you all the recommendations and tools you might want to use, when you should take the measurements. All kinds of good stuff is inside there if you want to take a look at that, if you want the best possible measurements. If you're not sure where to measure, you can click the Show Measurements picture, and it will show you a diagram of all the different places you can measure, right? And I would say be sure you're measuring at the thickest point. Everyone's body is built a little differently. Like my peak on my arms is generally closer to my deltoids, and like the difference is almost an inch, right? So like if I do like just the dead center of my biceps, it's at 16.1. But if I do it more towards the top, in between that center point and the deltoids, it's 17 inches. So everyone's a bit different. Some people peak, their bicep peak towards more to the center. Some of them are spread out a little bit more. So find your thickest point in all these diagrams. So don't take it to heart like the left thigh. Where it's pointing, might not necessarily be your thickest point. So just find your thickest point, and that's where you want to measure. Just a heads up on that. Okay, so going back to the measurement screen. So essentially, whenever you take your first measurement, the app will remember your first measurement. You can't delete the first measurement, but you can edit it just in case you made like a measurement error or something like that. You can go in and change it. Otherwise, if you want to add a new measurement, on the top right, you can hit that plus button, and it'll bring you to the measurement screen. Inside here, you can then take in your weight, you can take in your body fat percentages, you can take in your waist, your hips, your chest, your neck, your left bicep, your right bicep, all the different measurements that you can take, right? And then you want to just hit save, and it'll add it to your list. And over time, you start to collect a lot of measurements. And then you can also compare those measurements to your first measurement. On the top right, you just hit that compare button. And you'll have your measurements. This one has the change in your weight. You see a green line. I think it kind of follows right now, it only follows like if you are trying to lose weight. I think I'm going to add into your account section on what your goals are at this point, and then based off those goals, we're going to have it show certain measurements being good or bad. But right now, it's kind of based off of losing weight. Most people are trying to lose weight in general, or try to cut down so they look, more ripped. So it's kind of defaults to that. But let's say, like, if you're trying to lose weight, you've been stuck at 225 for a couple weeks, and then you look at your progress photos, you didn't really see much change. But then you come in here, and you had a tenth of an inch come off your waist, or a quarter inch come off your waist, or maybe your arms got bigger, so your weight didn't change because you actually put some muscle on your arms, or maybe your body fat percentage changed, even though that the scale didn't change, right? So here you can see the changes being made visually and a bit more precisely than you would in progress photos. You should be taking both, because then you have nice pictures, you can see it, and then you can, if that for some reason you don't see it in that, you can maybe see some changes in here to keep you motivated to keep going. Body measurement is a cool feature in PumpPal, and you should definitely check it out and make sure you're getting your measurements in by the recommendations. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at reasons. So what are the reasons? Your reasons are the reasons why you should be continuing to work out, sticking to your diet. These are here to help you stay motivated. A lot of times when you first start working out, you have huge motivation, you're all excited about it, and a few days start to go by, a week goes by, and that motivation begins to fade, right? Because this is something that takes time, years, if not for the rest of your life, is the current, should be your goal, a healthy lifestyle, right? So whenever that motivation fades, you make a list of reasons why you should keep going. And you can always come back to these, and read these and keep your motivation up. It could be a multitude of reasons. Build strength. Maybe you just got broke up with your girlfriend. Now you're trying to look for a new girlfriend. You want to look better. It's easier to date that way, or vice versa. If you're a girl, you want to look better for dates. You want to stay healthy as you age. There's a million reasons why someone might want to continue working out and continue a healthy lifestyle. I add reasons almost every day as I think of them, and I review them whenever I'm feeling not motivated to go to the gym. Read them over, get my motivation back, and then go to the gym. Or even if you're going to cheat on your diet, and you can't be cheating on your diet, read your reasons, and it helps you get remotivated to keep going. If you're not sure on which reasons you should use, we do have a presets option here, and you simply go through the presets. You can build strength, lose weight, improve mental health, increase energy, doctor's recommendations, be a role model for your family, perform better in sports, and gain more confidence, right? And there's multitudes of reasons more. Maybe you're a competitive person. You can put in the reason why you're doing it because you want to beat your brother at the weight loss game. Maybe you're in a contest or whatever it is. You want to put your reasons here so you always have a place to come back to, reread your reasons, get that fire back in you, and keep going. Okay, let's talk about the lifetime access here. Right now we're running a promotion for a limited time where lifetime access is only $39.99. It's a great price for lifetime access. Most workout tracking apps will charge you upwards of $150 to $200 for lifetime access. Right now, as we're new and we're trying to grow, we're offering it at $39.99 to our newest members. So a great deal to take advantage of. I'm thinking this is going to change probably by the end of the year. And take advantage of it while you still can. So what do you get out of that lifetime price? You get no ads. So you no longer get bugged about the ads, no ads in the bottom, an ad-free experience. You're grandfathered into all future features. So for $39.99, every time I add a new feature, you can rest assured you're going to be able to use that feature. You get a one-time payment, just the $39.99. And once again, it's limited time. Like I said, I'm thinking right now we got quite a few features now, so I'm thinking by the end of this year we're going to add in subscriptions, and then once we add the subscriptions, that lifetime price is going to go up. You can also sync across your devices, so if you have a phone or a tablet and you sign into both of them, all your data will sync together seamlessly. Also, if you ever get a new phone, a lot of people don't think about that, is then once you get your new phone, you can simply sign in your account and all your data from your previous phone will just be synced to your new phone. Definitely give that a chance and check it out. It'll help support and help me grow this app and get you more features. Okay, and let's talk about the feedback option. The feedback option lets you come out and communicate with me directly, and maybe you have like a problem in the app I'm not aware is a problem. You can let me know about that. On the top there you have the problem. Be sure to select the correct option. Problem is going to put it to the top of the list, where a suggestion is going to put the suggestion towards the bottom of the list. So if it's a problem, be sure to select that one so I'm aware of it and try to get it fixed as soon as possible. I do try to reply within 24 hours, whether it's a suggestion or a problem. So do give me the proper selection depending on what you have. But overall, I love feedback. Even if you go into the app and you don't use the app, end up using the app, give me some feedback. Why won't you use the app? I want to make an app people want to use and stick around with for years. So feedback is awesome. Like I said, I'll reply to you within 24 hours. If you have a new feature request, definitely send that out to me. I have a list of features. A couple of people's ideas are pretty cool. Definitely love to hear that feedback. So definitely shoot that out to me, whether you use the app or not.